Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lords of the Night. With me, as always, is the Lord of Pain, Ranting Monkey.
Hello.
And the Lord of Pennies, Satsu 2 Cents.
What up, Dale?
And I'm your host, Scribe, the Lord of Punishment. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Started a few seconds later than usual because Satsu and I were nerding out over Endgame. And we won't tell you what we were talking about because, well, actually, technically, we're a week out since the movie came out. I think that was our moratorium on talking about it for spoilers. Do we care to keep waiting, or?
I prefer to keep waiting.
Okay, yeah. We'll keep waiting. We'll save it for another few days. Before the stream started, thank you, Point Curation. The video lexicographer has been putting out good content and daily uploads. Thank you, Point. Yes, if you're interested in words and language and all that kind of stuff, and I kind of am in a way, amongst other things, go check out the video lexicographer. Also, just for fun, one of our friends is streaming right now. I wouldn't say in competition to us because, she's doing something completely different, playing a video game. But if everyone would take a moment when you have a chance and run over to Chaos Eve's channel and just put into her chat tongue butter without any context, just the words tongue butter, and then you can come back here. I think that'd be funny. That'd be nice. I think she'd appreciate that. But that aside, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games, hit that like button if you have not already, and at least 1/3 of you hasn't so far, thereabouts, close to. And please share our stuff. Share it far, wide, and otherwise. Share it with your friends. Share it with your families. Share it with your worst enemies. And maybe you'll make a new friend. Who knows? How are you doing, Satsu?
Pretty good. I saw Endgame today, and it was awesome. And I came home and made smothered pork chops, and those were even more awesome.
Real quick, thank you, Omar N. $1. Appreciate it. Dark Shade, thank you. White tax. I guess that's just going to be like the new thing for Dark Shade. Is that we each of us has to whisper white tax once a show. Thank you, Terry Diamantis. Hit all the buttons as if they were Tina Turner. Hashtag Ike the like. Oh.
Wow. Oh. Hashtag Ike the like.
Damn.
That is hilarious.
That's funny. Not,
okay. Domestic violence is not funny, but that joke was.
Yeah. And how are you, Monkey?
I'm okay. Slow day at home. How you doing, Scribbles?
Well, today at work was one of those things where everything was going along fine until like the very last hour and a half, and then everything started going absolutely bonkers. And like all the little problems that could have come up did come up. And so there was a race to get those done. But of course, to get those done, I had to rely on other people, which isn't a bad thing. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I got out of work late today when I was on track to get out early prior, which was a little disappointing. But hey, que sera. Thank you, Diesel Dave, for the $1. So when you see one of those things, is that the freebies they give you or something?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Diesel Dave. But yeah, otherwise, tomorrow I'll be getting up very, very, very early. Actually, I'll be getting up at the usual time for me, but very early for a Saturday. And heading off to see my parents with my sister on a little road trip. My parents are going to do a little, we're going to have a early birthday thing for me since they're going to be out of the country in a couple weeks. And I'm also going to make sure to do an early Mother's Day for my mommy because she's going to be gone by the time Mother's Day rolls around. So it'll be a dual sort of a celebration. And conceivably, I will be back in time for the show, I think. But since I can't say for sure, I encourage Monkey and or Satsu to think about a guest just to keep up the illusion that there's a plan.
Okay. We can never replace you.
You're damn right you can't. There's only one of me, except for all the clones.
Oh.
But anyway, anything else to touch upon before we go into the schnuzz?
Nothing comes to mind.
All right, Satsu.
I'm touching upon Chaos Eve's chat right now.
There you go. Has Squishy started her belly ASMR channel yet?
No, but I'm seriously considering making that a reality.
That you should do at least one video where it's just like her rubbing her belly. All right. Well, per the title of the stream, let's talk about Scientology. Or at least let's talk about one of the boats associated with Scientology. I think just saying that now has probably got me demonetized. or they're going to send their investigators after me just for talking about it. But so this was the top story on CNN, even though it's a story that's been out a couple days now. But I thought, well, if CNN thinks it's important, I suppose I have to think it's important. Here's what happens on Scientology's cruise ship, the Free Winds. It sounds pretty intense. Well, after watching the documentary Going Clear, I assume what happens on the ship is forced labor and misery. That's just my guess. Thank you, the gayest person on YouTube, for some of my favorite streamers. Gets me through work all week, 1/5 for Scribe. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And Dark Shade, thank you. Forgot Mom's Day was soon until I went to the mall. Yeah, they will remind you through various ways. And thank you, Princess Unicorn Nipples, for the $2. Appreciate it. Sorry, what was that?
Said stores will remind you of the holidays.
Oh yeah, or at least the marketing holidays, whether they're actually holidays or not. I mean, you don't get the day off for Mother's Day. You think mothers should get the day off for Mother's Day if they can prove motherhood?
If they can prove motherhood?
Well, I assume you could just kind of say, well, because I'm a woman, therefore I get Mother's Day. You have to prove you're a mother.
That would be sexist somehow, I'm sure.
Somehow, somewhere. When you hear the phrase Scientology cruise ship, it may conjure images of Tom Cruise playing shuffleboard on the deck while church members sunbathe and sip strawberry daiquiris. No, actually, that's not at all. That's not exactly what happens aboard the Free Winds. The Free Winds, a cruise ship belonging to the Church of Scientology, was quarantined this week in the Caribbean with an apparent case of measles. This has led to a number of questions, including, wait, why does Scientology have a cruise ship? Well, basically because L. Ron Hubbard fancied himself a commodore and a captain of a fleet. And he really only did this so he could get himself out in international waters and avoid the law, taxes, and a whole bunch of other things. But we don't talk about it like that. According to the church, the Free Winds is less a vacation and more of a floating religious retreat center. Some former Scientologists have described it in harsher terms, but more on that later. Once upon a time, Scientology had a fleet of ships, the church says, which were manned by its Sea organization. The ships and crew helped Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard with, quote-unquote, research and supervise church functions around the world, according to the church. Scientologists compare the Sea Org to members of a religious order, like monks and nuns who devote their lives to the faith, often working long hours for no pay and living communally. The Free Winds is entirely staffed by the Sea Org, the church says, who dress in spiffy naval uniforms. But there was another reason for Scientologists' seafaring ways, say scholars who have studied the church. In the late 1960s, several countries, including the United States, started scrutinizing Hubbard's new movement. He had been kicked out of England in 1968, according to Hugh Urban, author of The Church of Scientology, A History of a New Religion. Okay, I thought this would be more interesting because honestly, if you want to know about Scientology, watch the documentary Going Clear, and there's a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube. I thought this was going to be something about like people running out of the ship with measles or something. But apparently this is just going to give us an overview of Scientology in general. So, my mistake.
Sounds like a recruitment ad.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been getting, and I don't know why, but on Twitter, I've been getting a lot of promotional videos that apparently Scientology now has its own like TV series, or at least that's what they're calling it, where they're basically just giant recruitment ads for Scientology and how awesome they are. And it's all still as creepy as you'd imagine. But they're very well produced, because if Scientology has one thing, it's money. Because they achieved tax-free status as a religion back in what, like 97 or something?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, and so they haven't had to pay taxes forever, and they get a lot of money from people. Speaking of a lot of money, another development in the shooting death of Justine Ruzick, who was shot by the police officer in Minnesota. Justine Ruzick's family reaches a $20 million settlement with the city of Minneapolis. And rightfully so, I think. The family of a woman shot and killed by a Minneapolis police officer has reached a $20 million settlement with the city, according to Mayor Jacob Frey. Former Minneapolis police officer Mohammed Noor was found guilty Tuesday of third-degree murder and manslaughter in the fatal July 2017 shooting of Justine Ruzick, if I'm saying that correctly, who had called 911 to report a possible assault in the alley behind her home. Frey announced the settlement, the biggest in the city's history, according to a spokesman for the mayor, in a news conference Friday. Of the $20 million, $18 million will go to the Ruzick family, and $2 million will be donated to a fund for safe communities at the Minneapolis Foundation, Frey said. Quote, "This is not a victory for anyone, but rather a way for our city to move forward," Frey said. "I do believe that we will move forward together, united in the shared belief that such a tragedy should never occur in our city," unquote. Yeah, but it did. And that cop was a fucking asshole, amongst other things. Robert Bennett, an attorney for Ruzick's family, said the settlement came as a result of private mediation. It goes on a while, but anyway, good, sort of bittersweet kind of thing. It'll hopefully encourage Minneapolis to vet its officers and train them better.
I think the United States as a whole needs to fucking do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of places where training would go a long way. Or I don't know. It's kind of weird because, you know, cops have such a bad rap now that fewer and fewer people want to become cops. So it's sort of like this self-fulfilling prophecy. Cops are horrible, says everybody. Nobody wants to be a cop and be considered horrible. So the only people that end up being police officers are either horrible people or underqualified people.
Or those horrible people's kids.
Or, yeah, either way. Let's see. Puddock, Scribe Light, do you recommend that Scientology show starring that lady from King of Queens? Forgot the name. I forget her name too. I haven't watched that show. A really well done documentary is just called Going Clear. It's an HBO documentary. I think you can find it on Hulu, I think. Or elsewhere. It might be elsewhere. It's a really good sort of overview of everything. But I mean, if you just go into YouTube and look up Scientology documentary, there's plenty out there. It's something that's been looked at for years and years and years. The BBC's done several things on it. You're fine. Leah Rimini, says Terry DeMontis. That's right. Let's see. How about we talk about Kamala Harris?
Yeah, wait.
And what's up to?
Well, Kamala Harris wants IG to investigate if Barr opened probes into Trump enemies at White House request.
Oh, I think Instagram could do it.
Senator Kamala Harris sent a letter to the Justice Department's Inspector General, not Instagram, Satsu, but that would be funny, on Friday, requesting an investigation into whether Attorney General William Barr has acted upon requests or suggestions for President Donald Trump or other White House officials to investigate the president's quote-unquote perceived enemies. Okay, Kamala, you're a lawyer and you know better. So suggestions and perceived are things that are so vague in legal terms or in even just investigatory terms. I don't even know where you're going to go with this, except that you're just showboating because you know it's not going to go anywhere. It's kind of like that lady in Georgia who put up the testicular Bill of Rights.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I'm going to say something. I'm going to push something that sounds good. It's red meat to the true believers on my side of the aisle, but it's actually not going to mean much or go anywhere. It just sounds, proactive.
Is it safe to say she knows better anymore?
Oh, she knows plenty. I mean, as far as like just pushing her brand, this is great. She gets her name out there. It's like she's fighting the good fight. She's following up on her questioning of Barr at the committee hearing the other day. She knows what she's doing. I just think it's like with so much else, a waste of time right now. But in a letter addressed to Department of Justice Inspector General Michael E. Horowitz, the Democratic presidential candidate cites the findings in Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report and Barr's Wednesday congressional testimony as the reasons for her letter. Excuse me. Quote, such inappropriate requests by the president have been well documented, Harris wrote. Special Counsel Mueller documented a disturbing pattern of behavior on the part of the president, repeated attempts to target his perceived opponents, unquote. Quote, there must be no doubt that the Department of Justice and its leadership stand apart from partisan politics and resist improper attempts to use the power of federal law enforcement to settle personal scores, the letter reads.
So is an attempt now asking if you can do it? Like, does that count as an attempt? Like, if a friend of mine was like standing with his girlfriend, I'm like, you wouldn't mind if I fucked your chick, would you? Would that be me actively trying to fuck her right there and there?
Real quick, thank you, Cryptic. Oh, good old Kuntmila Harris. Okay. Well, and that comes down to the same question about obstruction of justice. Okay. However you want to categorize what was in Trump's mind when he said to McGahn, maybe Mueller should be removed or something like that. I forget the exact quote is in the report, but I'm paraphrasing. Now, was Trump telling McGahn to do it, or was Trump musing about the possibility? Hard to tell. Was the action actually taken? No. Does that constitute obstruction of justice? Like I say, I'm not a lawyer. That sounds awfully gray area to say for certain that it is. As for this, similar thing. It's like, well, do you have evidence that he explicitly told Barr to target someone, and then can you show that that person is a quote-unquote perceived enemy or whatever? I presume if that was the case, we would know it by now because, like I said last night, the White House is an absolute sieve of information, so leaks are all over the place. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think the perceived enemy part is going to be the one that bites her in the ass. Because how perceived by who?
By Trump, I guess.
You'd have to have something explicit, like Trump, like a recording or some other transcription of Trump saying, I don't know, Joe Smith has been really writing me hard in the press. Barr, I want you to find something to prosecute him on.
Yeah, and that's different than just saying, going back to the whole Mueller thing with the firing of him. Whether anybody likes it or not, Trump wasn't just saying, fire this guy. He was saying, I think this guy has a conflict of interest. He should go. And that is not, he doesn't like me, so he should go. Those are two entirely different things. And she knows it. She knows that. Yeah,
like I said, this sounds more like theater than it does seriousness. But let's see. Harris's letter comes days after a heated exchange between the California Democrat and the Attorney General, in which Barr parsed words to answer Harris's question about whether the White House has, quote, asked or suggested, unquote, that he open an investigation into anyone, which was such a broad question to try to answer. It's like,
parsed word. No, that's you have to be careful answering questions to Congress.
Yeah. I mean, they're both lawyers, for God's sakes. Quote, I'm trying to grapple with the word suggest, Barr said Wednesday at the hearing. I mean, there have been discussions of matters out there that they have not asked me to open an investigation, but Harris interjected, perhaps they've suggested? Quote, I don't know. I wouldn't say suggest. said Barr. Hinted, Harris pressed. I don't know, Barr answered. Hinted.
Isn't that based solely on perception though?
Yes.
So okay.
I think what Harris is looking, so there's this quote, I forget where it's from. It's a famous quote. It's something to the effect of the great leader says, "Who shall rid me of this meddlesome priest?"
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just asking it to the air rhetorically and hoping that one of their sycophants just goes out and does it. You know, or that they will take it as an implicit authorization to do a thing.
Well, see, that's what it's really coming down to. And it's because of all of the Cohen testimony. Because remember, in the Cohen testimony, over and over again, Cohen says, look, he never told me, but I understood that's what he meant.
Right.
They never said that. That's what they meant. Well, that doesn't fly in court. Sorry, bud. And it's not going to fly here either.
Yeah, now trust me, if they had recordings or something of Trump saying, I want you to arrest Jim Acosta, right? Or something like that, and that without any explanation except that, like, and he's an asshole.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that would be abuse of office by all means, you know, follow that all the way to the end. But
not just by all means, absolutely do it.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. By all means, do it. That is a violation of so many things. But unless or until you can actually show something that directed and that explicit, you're just going on a fishing expedition again. But again, I don't know that she's actually expecting it to go anywhere so much as just have it out in the buzzword world.
Well, I'm curious how many cases have been decided off of perception and suggestions.
Kavanaugh. I mean, like I say, we don't actually have to have anything legally occur. It just, I mean, what kind of society are we living in these days? The suggestion of something, she brings up the idea of it, and now it's like, oh, she must be saying that because she knows something, or she's gleaned something from the report, or it doesn't matter whether it's true or not.
Well, that brings up the case. Yeah, but how many were actually won? Like Kavanaugh won that. I mean, like, how many people brought up that case off of, you know, just a suggestion or a perceived whatever and actually won based off of those metrics?
It's not about winning. It's about name recognition. It's about free press. If Kamala Harris says one thing to a reporter and that one thing gets her name out into 17 different publications without her having to lift a finger, you know, that's free campaign fodder right there. And the fact that what she's saying is something that the base wants to hear, right? She wins. She's already won. Just like with any politician that does this kind of thing. And I'm not saying that this is Kamala Harris unique or anything. This is just the way it works. She doesn't actually have to end up finding out that Barr did anything wrong, or she doesn't actually have to show evidence that Trump directed him to prosecute someone unjustly. She just has to make the suggestion, show that she's fighting the good fight, and following up on her committee testimony in which she was on TV, committee questioning. Yeah, no, that's all this is.
But there's more to it than that. There's nothing wrong with the president or the White House suggesting, hey, this needs looked into. Yeah. By the way, Congress does that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We had that, speaking of the Kavanaugh case. It's like, look, we think people were lying to us about Kavanaugh. We refer it to the Justice Department to look into. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Aren't they doing that right now? Like,
yes.
Isn't that what she's doing at this exact moment?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, the way that she formed the question at the committee hearing the other day, if Trump had read in the news, and this is just a hypothetical sort of, you know, quasi example. Let's say you read in the news, you know, El Chapo drug smuggling network finds its way into Texas, right? And if he said to Barr, hey, I read in the newspaper that there's this minion of El Chapo in Texas. I want you to look into this guy. Okay, by Kamala Harris's question, that would apply as a yes. But it wouldn't be improper, but it also wouldn't be outside the realm of the question she asked. Has the president ever asked you or suggested that you investigate anyone
Yeah, anyone
Yeah.
under any circumstances,
Right.
and as long as that answer
Exactly.
was yes, she'd be like, aha!
Right. Anyway, okay, we dwelled on that long enough. Lastly, at least as far as I had, good news in the sense that, yay, law enforcement. Bad news is, holy shit. Child exploitation operations net 82 arrests in 8 states.
Jesus
Yikes.
Christ.
Authorities in 8 states arrested 82 people in operations this week that also rescued or identified 17 children thought to be victims of exploitation. Quote, this 3-day operation provides a snapshot of the work that the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force is doing around the clock, 7 days per week. Predators are real and they walk among us, Alan K. Flora, commander of the North Carolina Task Force, said.
Scott, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the numbers for me there? How many children?
Okay, so there were 82 people arrested
Uh-huh.
across 8 states. And in association with those arrests, they also rescued or identified 17 children thought to be victims of exploitation. And that entire dragnet was happened over the course of 3 days.
Jesus fuck. That's
Yeah.
the 3 days, 80 some people, whatever. What? Jesus fucking Christ. You know what? Hey, Kamala, maybe the FBI has better things to do than me looking at the president right now.
The raids and undercover operations targeted people who had or were distributing child pornography and others who use technology and the internet to exploit children, according to the news release from the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. 7 people were arrested after they allegedly traveled to meet and have sex with a minor, the agency said. So to catch a predator kind of stuff. One of the people arrested is a youth minister, the release said.
Well, that's shocking.
According to CNN affiliate WRAL, that man is from Cary, North Carolina. The suspects range in age from 20 to 70. Law enforcement officers from Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Maryland, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia were involved in the roundup. And I'm sure that the planning for that operation went on far longer prior to the 3 days of them and enacting it, but all the same, holy shit.
Well, good for them, and
yeah.
thankfully for stopping this, at least from going any further with those people. But Jesus fuck, that's a lot of fucking freaks.
Yeah, 8 states out of 50, and only a few law enforcement organizations. Oh, man. Anyway, did you guys have any other stories to mention?
Nope.
Nothing that comes to mind, dude. I didn't read a whole bunch of stories today. I started to, and I got annoyed by the internet and went, fuck this, and started playing video games.
Well, I got breaking news.
Uh-oh.
I checked CNN because I always do that right before MSS News. South Korean Defense Ministry says North Korea has tested a short-range missile. Okay, North Korea fired an unidentified short-range missile Saturday morning from the country's eastern coast, the South Korean Defense Ministry confirmed to CNN. The Defense Ministry added that South Korea and U.S. authorities are analyzing the details of the missile. The launch took place at around 9:06 a.m. or 8:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. It comes a few weeks after North Korea said it conducted a tactical guided weapons firing test. The U.S. military did not detect a missile launch, Department of Defense officials said. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un praised the weapon's capabilities, the state-run news agency KCNA reported. Quote, the development and completion of this weapon system will be a great historic event in strengthening the combat capability of the People's Army, he said, according to KCNA. Yeah, and also saber rattling and risking, further sanctions and or worse in your country. Good job.
Well, it also, a short-range missile, I know that they have some limits on what they're supposed to be doing and such.
Yeah.
But if it's just a conventional missile, I mean...
Yeah, still, it's...
I know.
Tempting fate, as they say. Let's see. Oh, and now my phone beeps at me. And now I find out if I get to stay every night. Survey says I'm good. All right, so guys, we're going to move on to MSS News. If you have news stories you'd like us to read on the air, please send them to us via Twitter using the hashtag MSS News. Can't promise we'll get to them all, but I will read as many as I am able to in the time we have. Let's see. What is this? Oh, that's not good. This one comes from Quinn Harrison. Is this true? Oh, Army soldier Hawaii's Kilauea volcano after straining for better view. Not the best idea. A 32-year-old soldier straining to get a better view of the inside of Hawaii's Kilauea volcano was seriously injured after he fell from a 300-foot-high cliff into the volcano crater. According to a park spokesman, the man climbed over a metal guardrail to get a better vantage point. Then the ground beneath him collapsed.
People, guardrails, fences, these things are there for a reason.
Yeah. Let's see. Army officials say the man is a soldier from Schofield Barracks on the island of Oahu and was on Hawaii's Big Island for training exercises. An eyewitness saw the man fall into the volcano around 6:30 p.m. and immediately notified authorities. Rescue workers were able to rappel down the inside of the volcano where they found the man on a ledge 70 feet below the rim. They attached him to a stretcher and airlifted him out of the crater. He was flown to Hilo Medical Center in critical condition. On Thursday, his condition was upgraded to stable. He's a lucky motherfucker, but also an idiot. That's my analysis.
You'd be right.
Yeah. So, yeah, don't do that. They put the fences up there for a reason, especially around fucking volcanoes. Holy cats.
Well, in his defense, he got the best view.
Yes. Yeah, he was trying to return the One Ring to Mordor. You're right. Let's see. This one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Police ID 2 accused of $21,000 panty raid at Victoria's Secret.
Okay.
$21,000 in underwear.
We've read about the thefts before, but never about anybody being caught. I'm interested.
Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Police say they've identified 2 young women who stole about $21,000 worth of underwear from Victoria's Secret in the Capital City Mall last month. Lower Allen Township Police said 18-year-old Ada Melcado and a juvenile who acted as her lookout, good God, were identified April 18th through a drug investigation in Fairfax County, Virginia. Melcado of New York City and her lookout had Victoria's Secret merchandise that was stolen from a store in Bethesda, Maryland. They also had the same booster bags they used for the theft at the Capital City Mall. Booster bags are foil-lined shopping bags or backpacks that prevent the triggering of electronic security tags. Melcado and the juvenile are accused of stealing 2,000 pairs of underwear at the Capital City Mall on April 7th. Police said the pair cleaned out the front display and the drawers below the display while employees were busy with other customers. The 2 stole 375 hipster panties valued at $3,937.50, 375 cut thongs valued at $3,937.50, 1,000 thongs valued at $10,500, and 250 raw cut hip hugging panties valued at $2,625. Okay. Does Victoria's Secret overprice their stuff?
No.
Just a little bit? I mean, okay, so 1,000 thongs valued at $10,500. So, what? That is an expensive pair of underwear. Okay. Moving on. Let's see. This one comes from Mr. Monopoly. Graham asks Mueller if he wants to refute Barr testimony about phone call. I guess that is pertinent. Senate Judiciary Chairman Lindsey Graham sent a letter to Special Counsel Robert Mueller on Friday asking whether Mueller felt Attorney General William Barr misrepresented their phone conversation in his Senate testimony this week. Testifying before the Judiciary Committee on Wednesday, Barr said Mueller told him he did not think Barr's 4-page summary of Mueller's conclusions was inaccurate, but rather that Mueller was unhappy with the media coverage of Barr's summary when he sent a letter objecting to the characterization of the special counsel report. Quote, please inform the committee if you would like to provide testimony regarding any misrepresentation by the Attorney General of the substance of that phone call, Graham wrote. I'm assuming he has not yet. The special counsel's office declined to comment. Well,
sounds right.
Yeah, probably until he has to testify formally, if he does testify formally, which he probably will. So, I mean, at least Graham's showing that they're not scared to hear what he has to say. That's all, basically.
Well, he's already been scheduled to testify.
Oh, is he? I haven't been keeping up.
That was that happened quite a while ago. Right after or during Barr's first testimony. No, it was during the okay, when he came out with the report. He had that press conference.
Yeah.
He was asked, are you going to let Mueller testify? And Barr said, I don't care.
Right, yeah.
Congress had scheduled Mueller to testify Mueller to testify. I want to say it was like on the 26th of this month, something like that. So,
thank you, Tyrai Deos, or Tyrai. What the thieves do are hop on the turnpike and hit the major spots along the way. Sadly, this is a common thing. Oh, with the booster bags and all that? Yeah, I can see it. You just go do a quick shopping run, more or less. But apparently they did all of that at one store at that one mall, which is amazing.
I'll be right back, guys.
Sure.
That's a lot of panties.
Yeah. I mean, they must have just
How
over.
big were the bags?
I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming it's something, well, obviously big enough to hold that much panties, because panties don't really take up that much space either.
They don't, but you're talking, there were thousands and thousands of pairs of panties.
Yeah. I mean, if it was like a decent sized backpack, you could probably get a lot in. I don't know.
I guess.
This one comes from Frosted Glass, and I can already tell by the title that this is going to be lovely. This is from The Guardian, and this is the headline under the category Opinion Children.
Oh.
Kids hugging. That's no big deal. Or so I used to think.
What?
Okay, and this is by Emma Brockes, Brockes, at The Guardian. I don't remember being ordered to hug people when I was a child, but I remember being made to hold hands. Sweaty, papery, vice-like, limp, God, all the hands one has to hold as a child. It's not a big deal. And of course, it's unavoidable for safety. But I remember disliking it. The sense of obligation, and the fact you never knew what hand you would get. Long after the fact, there came a moment when I realized, merciful heaven, I didn't have to hold any more hands.
Really?
That's an amazing opening. Hugs were different, a social necessity rather than a safety measure. And in the 1970s and 80s, and probably the 1990s, they were also something from which you couldn't opt out. Again, it didn't seem like a big deal at the time. There were circumstances in which it was polite to offer a hug and polite to accept one. Weathering a bad hug meant standing still while someone crushed you vaguely to their midsection before wandering off to do something else. If you didn't enjoy this, too bad. This isn't the case now. These days, there is something called bodily autonomy, which I know about thanks to a video.
Oh, dear God.
Is this a YouTube video? It is a YouTube video. Okay, they got a link to a YouTube video. Who made the YouTube video? Blue Seat Studios. And the title of the video is Consent for Kids. It was published on October 4th, 2016, and it has been viewed over 600,000 times at this point. I've never heard of this. I'm going to bookmark it because I will take a look at that later. But it's a 2-minute and 42-second video. I might have to look at that. A friend sent it to me this week after a kerfuffle about hugging blew up with my kid. Hugs, in case you haven't noticed, are the subject of a small but fiercely debated subsection of parenting that falls into the category of things I would once have thought ludicrous, but about which I am now almost entirely deranged.
Okay.
Is that self-awareness or... Okay, this goes on a very long time.
I'm curious. Is this because if it wasn't for the video taught me this thing, I'd be thinking, okay, she's some loon. Is this a Poe article? Is this for real?
I don't know. I'm going to skip down slightly. But then a kid hugged my kid, and she didn't like it. This happened several times. He asked to give her a kiss, and she very rudely said no. A complaint came in from the kid's parent that her rudeness had hurt his feelings, and off I went. My daughter was not put on this earth to comfort your needy son, I thought, as if they were 4-year-old players in some wild new chapter of Me Too. I didn't say this. I sent a measured response. She was protecting her son's feelings, and I was protecting my daughter's, and this was a fuss over nothing. But it struck home more deeply than I might have anticipated. I showed my daughter the video about bodily autonomy and watched as she took it in. It was an animation showing kids how to politely decline unwanted physical contact. A lot of parenting culture is over fussy, but this felt different, a new way of socializing, particularly girl children, to expand the range of what they can decently say no to. I was blindsided by how great it felt.
That's stupid. I look, I'm with him. Especially talking about children and a little boy who just wants to hug your kid and kiss on her. Yeah, you can absolutely tell that child fucking no.
Yeah.
But there are times of hug your grandma, hug your grandpa.
Well, nobody needs to tell your grandchildren to hug you.
No, they
want to.
It depends on little butt's mood.
I suppose, but still. All right, I mean, with whatever she was saying there, I agree with her, protective sentiment of her child, of course. And what was going on with that little kid is, a little too much. And there's, the kid's not. If your daughter's not comfortable doing it, she doesn't have to do it. That'd be kind of my situation. But unless, like you say, it's like, go give your grandma a hug, that kind of thing. But anyway.
Yeah, because they just make it sound like any hugging, and then she gives a story of a little boy who just wants to hug my child. I'm telling a little kid to go fuck himself.
Yeah, it's a 4-year-old, so I probably wouldn't say go fuck yourself, but I might kick him.
I probably.
What happened?
You missed everything. I can't tell you. It'd be like giving away Endgame at this point. I just can't tell you. This one comes from Jedi Ghost Bear.
A mom was upset a little boy was hugging on her kid.
And turned it into a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, well, speaking of Endgame, I open up this story, and the picture they're using for the story is of Captain America. Or at least Steve Rogers looking off in the distance with a tear in his eye. But the title... Oh, I guess... Wait. What? Okay, the headline to the tweet that this is attached to is, "We've discovered why so many young people are leaving the church." Okay, and then the headline of the actual story is, "Watch this youth pastor spoil Endgame on stage, turning the next generation away from the gospel." Okay, that makes sense now. That's fine. Youth pastors forever on the hunt to stay on the teen strange?
On the what? Whoa. What?
Whoa. No, I'm not.
Strange?
Okay, for those of you that don't know, there is a context where the word strange equates to sexual activity. Now, that's what in the context of this sentence, that's how I took it. I'm assuming this is not, is this a story from So this is a story from relevantmagazine.com.
Relevant.
I don't know if it's a foreign publication where that word in that context means something different, or they meant to say like stage and not strange. I don't know, but I'm going to read it as it's written, especially after the story we read at the end of News where it was like a youth pastor in South Carolina was just arrested. Okay. Youth pastors forever on the hunt to stay on the teen strange, I'm assuming you mean stage or something, I don't know, are always prone to pepper their talks with pop culture baubles and buzzy trinkets. All right, somebody's just a really eccentric wordsmith here. It's an old, reliable way of keeping the kids' ears perked at half-mast. Jesus. Ready for an Ariana Grande lyric or Fortnite reference to set those recognition bells clanging in their prefrontal cortex. Jesus. Sometimes this works well, and youth pastors can help shepherd young, impressionable minds through the confusing and even dangerous world of advertising and digital media. And sometimes, well, you spoil the ending of Avengers Endgame in front of your entire youth group, driving them further from the pure light of the gospel and into the waiting arms of the devil who, whatever his other evils, at least doesn't reveal what happens to the Avengers. And then they go into, there's a video of him doing this. Okay, I'm obviously not going to quote or anything about what the guy says. I'm going to retweet the story out because I kind of want to watch that later myself to see the audience reaction. But beware, there are spoilers literally in that video for Endgame. If you've already seen the movie, go ahead. If you haven't seen the movie and don't care, go ahead. If you haven't seen the movie and don't want it spoiled, don't watch it. Okay. Anyway, moving on. We talked about that story the other day. Okay. Sure, why not? This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Penis potholes prompt council to take action.
Okay, Scribe.
Yes.
You said go check out the video, so I clicked it.
Yeah.
And the video was I thought the video was about to play, so I clicked to pause it preemptively, but I actually unpaused it. And the moment I clicked unpause, it was like penis potholes. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay.
It just, I don't know, like that lined up so perfectly. I'm just like, it's Scribe fucking trolling me.
No, I'm reading it as it is written. And honestly, this is kind of if this is what I think it is, it's actually a very creative way to draw attention to something. A council has been shamed into doing something about potholes via a creative means. Someone has gone around drawing penises around the potholes to highlight that they were still there and in need of attention. Apparently, it's an effective way to sort things out as they were fixed within days, despite being a problem for a year before that. Locals praised, quote, the power of the willy, unquote, in Middlesbrough after the graffiti was placed around them on Wednesday. On Friday, pictures of them were shared on Facebook, having been filled in. Residents in Acklam, a suburb of Middlesbrough, which is where they appeared, were delighted. Zoe Jade Price said, quote, there's going to be a penis on every pothole now, unquote. Allison Johnson said, so that's what we have to do to get them repaired. I like that solution, honestly. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yep. Works for me. Moving on. Okay, this one comes from Angry Illinoisian. Man arrested for making threats against Kushner and Trump Jr. The FBI in Seattle has arrested an alleged Nazi sympathizer who authorities say stockpiled rounds of ammunition and threatened to, quote, personally execute, unquote, President Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, according to charging documents. In social media posts over the past few months, Chase Bliss Colasorado, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, of Kent, Washington, also threatened to kill one of the president's sons, Donald Trump Jr., and to, quote, start bombing synagogues, unquote, court documents alleged. Cola Serrato has been charged with 2 counts of making interstate threats. The FBI said it began its investigation in mid-March based on a tip from what authorities described as a, quote, concerned citizen. Probably the guy's parents or something. Authorities discovered that on February 26, 2019, Coladurdo? Wait, did you spell that differently in 2 different spots? Yes, you did. Okay. Apparently, MSN does not know how to spell this guy's name, or they just took different shots at it. Anyway, he allegedly sent an email to 5 different media outlets, oh, good job, stating, quote, I'm going to personally execute Kushner for his countless treasonous crimes. Yeah, that'll get the authorities' attention. I'm surprised it wasn't that got the attention of authorities before it was the concerned citizen. Okay. Are you guys there?
I'm here.
Okay. You guys are so quiet. I'm like, what the hell's going on? This one comes from Jim Heelis. Ogden teens charged in extensive car burglary ring. Okay.
Burglary ring.
Burglary ring. A 15-year-old boy who told police he and his crew were breaking into about 50 vehicles a night. What? Okay. 50 vehicles a night throughout Weber County now faces a long list of charges, according to court records. The teen, whom the Deseret News is not naming at this time, was charged in April in 2nd District Juvenile Court with 57 counts related to car burglaries, including engaging in a pattern of unlawful activity, possession of a firearm by a restricted person, 10 counts of theft by receiving stolen property, 4 counts of burglary of a dwelling, 4 counts of unlawful possession of a bank card, 2 counts of failing to stop for police, 34 counts of aiding and abetting in vehicle burglary, and drug possession. The kid's 15.
It's not hard to break into cars.
No, but the number of fuck.
Well, depending on where that's not even a whole block.
With those charges, the 15-year-old's juvenile record now includes a total of 67 delinquency offenses, including 61 felonies and 6 misdemeanors or infractions. I think that kid might be locked up till he's 21.
He's going to be away for a while.
Yeah, I got a feeling, at least, if not further beyond. Okay, well, Jesus, all right.
Well, it's not unusual, especially like Squishy be watching that Locked Up show or whatever a lot. Like some of those kids that go into like the juvenile centers or whatever, they'll go in there at like 15, stay there until they're like 20 something, and then get transferred right to they're just like there's no place for me out there. Like I'm gonna be back. So
all right, let's end on a bittersweet story.
Okay.
This one comes from Peter Stewart. Longtime married couple dies within minutes of each other. Family members say a Pennsylvania couple that had been married for almost 45 years passed away within minutes of each other. 45 years. That's nothing. My parents just hit their 50th anniversary. 45 years. Whatever. I'm just kidding. Claire Vance had made daily visits to a care center where his 70-year-old wife, Janine, lived because of mobility and medical issues. But those visits stopped last week when he developed a flu-like illness and was hospitalized. As his condition worsened, Janine spoke with her 75-year-old husband on the phone. She last spoke to him minutes before he died Sunday night. One of the couple's daughters was with her father when he died. She asked her aunts to go to the care center and tell her mother of his death. But when they arrived, they found Janine Vance dead in her room. The couple will be buried together on Friday. Oh, that's sad, but poetic. It's one of those things like, oh. But There you go.
Lady Monkey goes. I'm going too.
Oh, okay. I'll do this one just before we wrap up. This one comes from
She'll outlive me by a lot, so.
Princess Unicorn Nipple sends us this one. I'm going to do this real quick because I didn't know about this. Winnie the Pooh Disney voice actor Jim Cummings accused of sexual assault and animal abuse.
Yep, I saw the headline. I didn't read it because I'm like, I can't read that about Winnie the Pooh.
Jim Cummings is being accused of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. The 66-year-old voice actor, known for adding his voice to iconic films including Winnie the Pooh and The Lion King, was accused by ex-wife Stephanie Cummings of abuse between 2011 and 2018 in court documents on Friday. The couple were married in 2001 and divorced in 2011 and have 2 daughters. Stephanie reportedly claims that since the divorce, Jim, quote, has engaged in physical, sexual, and emotional abuse, including but not limited to death threats, rape, and various sexual deviant behavior forced upon me without my consent. Wait, since the divorce?
Damn.
Let's see. Okay, quote, this is from him apparently. Quote, shame on you. Your distortions are obscene. Forcing, please. Everyone, Gracie, myself, and especially you, were all giggling and laughing. It was pleasant to have one moment of lightheartedness. We both erupted into laughter. I'm hardly the first person in the world to point out one catches more flies with honey than vinegar. For you to overlay a reference to being a whore is a little too telling. Let's get this over with for the love of God, he reportedly wrote in response to the allegations in an email to Stephanie.
Holy crap.
She also claims that he punished their dog for urinating in the house by placing it, quote, inside a metal bucket outside of the house on a day when it was over 100 degrees, then left it there for a long time. The dog came close to dying. I don't know. Contentious divorces always make me a little wary of anything either side says, but that's just me.
And especially in #MeToo era, come on. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying I need something more than her just saying it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for all the stories. Appreciate it. And we're going to move on to YouTube time. I'll go first because of work, I didn't get to do anything today. So I did find a short TEDx video, though. Short as in it was under 10 minutes. So I'm waiting for that other video I'm working on for that's part 2 to come out. Maybe I'll start working. I got like 3 or 4 project folders on my desktop right now. I'll have something out eventually, but this weekend's a little special. So that's what I've got. Satsu, what are you working on?
Well, I did attempt to record the footage of me making smothered pork chops tonight. But I don't know if it's good. So I'm going to have to see if I'm going to be able to salvage it or use it. Because I feel like I forgot some stuff. And we had just got home from the movies and I was trying to hurry up. So I have to look it over and see if it's usable. I mean, I can always make it again, so it's not a big deal. But outside of that, as far as future meals go, I got a couple stir fries planned and a few other things that I'm looking into making that are down the pipeline for videos to be uploaded. Me and Monkey will be streaming 7 Days to Die again tonight after this, and we'll be giving away a Lego game of some sort. I don't know which one. Whichever one Monkey pulls out of the fucking hat. So come and hang out with us after that. Other than that, I've just been chilling. Went to go see Endgame and had a good time and hung out with Squishy, and then I came home.
Cool. Monkey?
I did a Monkey in the morning earlier, and then I went to sleep. And now I'm here.
How exciting.
That's what happened.
All right. Well, on to Fucketry then, I guess. Let me just find, I only have a couple of things. Officially, the House Judiciary Committee Chairman, Jerry Nadler, set a Monday deadline for Barr to turn over an unredacted copy of the Mueller report threatening Barr with contempt. And once again, I asked specifically to Jerry Nadler, just so I understand, you're threatening to hold the Attorney General in contempt for not giving you an unredacted document which contains grand jury testimony, which, by law, needs to remain sealed, i.e. the AG will be held in contempt for not breaking the law. Is that right, Jerry Nadler?
Yeah.
And the other thing was that Chris Saliza retweeted this tweet earlier today from Peter Stevenson. It says, "Today is World Press Freedom Day. That means you can get a full year of digital access to the Washington Post for $25, just over $2 a month." And it gave a link. And I said, yeah, guys, do as Chris Saliza suggests and subscribe to the Washington Post. It needs our support. Otherwise, where will CNN get their news content?
I was about to say, it sounds like CNN's going to save money on news.
Yeah. And the other thing, and this might, maybe you guys know something more about this, because I certainly don't. Okay. Ian Miles Chong tweeted out, well, he retweeted something that's no longer available. The tweet is unavailable now. Maybe they deleted it or something. But he was responding to something someone had said who was sort of undercutting news about Andy Worski. I can't quote the tweet now because it's gone, but Ian Miles Chong said, "So you're saying it's fine that Andy Worski downloaded 35 gigabytes of child porn because it might have only been, let me see if I got this right, 35 child porn movies. You might want to rethink this." And that was the response to the original tweet. Now, I don't know anything about that. I know Jeff Holiday responded to that by going like, some people have said I'm obsessive about watching Andy Worski fall, but he says it's better than television. I don't keep up with the drums. I don't know what all that's about. I just found it interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so that's the content of my fucketry today. How about you, Satsu?
Nothing really. I got up this morning and we got ready to go see Endgame. Outside of fucking Jeff Holiday fucking with Monkey.
Oh yeah.
I don't really know. I mean, well, the post that I commented on is Jeff Holiday put out a post in response to somebody. Somebody said freedom of speech is by definition freedom from consequences, which I don't know if they understood what they were saying there, but I don't think they meant, or that meant what they thought it meant. And Jeff Holiday's response was, "Stop listening to YouTubers." And I was like, that's a super strange thing for a YouTuber to say. And I was like, is he talking about just YouTubers in general? Is he talking about just YouTubers that he doesn't agree with or he doesn't like? And he was like, no, I'm talking about all YouTubers. I'm like, stop listening to them. And
you
all right. Go ahead.
So if he tells you to stop listening to YouTubers, you have to stop listening to him, which means you're supposed to start listening to them.
Well, I don't know. Well, like I said, like I'm getting to the point to where I'm starting to feel like a lot of people are just flinging shit, just to be doing so. And then I respond kind of honestly to like, what the fuck is this about? And then they're just like, I'm just joking. And I'm like, okay, well, should I take anybody seriously? Probably not as a standard. But I was just basically, he said this is a position he's had for a long time where if a person is somebody who you just watch on YouTube or whatever, you shouldn't hold them to any special regard. Like, they're just a motherfucker on the internet, which I don't necessarily disagree with. It was just this kind of position that I've been observing lately of people, specifically those who have kind of jumped ship and who are like on a different path now, who are just like, fuck content creators and YouTubers. Like, you guys are, all you guys just follow what they say and you're listening to some influencer or some YouTuber telling you what to think and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you guys not making content anymore? Because I'm pretty sure you are. So like, where is this coming from? It just seems weird. Like people who left the anti or whatever skeptic or anti SJW sphere are just like, fuck those guys. Those guys are pieces of shit. Not like me, right? I'm different now. I've grown. And now it's just like YouTubers in general, content creators, period. Like those guys are scum. No fucking listen to them. They ain't shit. By the way, subscribe to my channel and check out my content. But those are fucking YouTubers. Don't listen to them. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It just seems weird. Like, I don't know. Like they're really trying really hard to like put on this image to pull in a certain crowd that I can't quite pinpoint yet. So I don't know. It's just my thought process there. But,
let's see. Old Grouchy Gamer, thank you. I saw this earlier, but unlike some people, I didn't want to interrupt Satsu. Veerer of Ashmedai has a birthday song request. Yes, he does. Veerer's son, Tristan, turns 2 today.
All right. Tristan, you're 2, so you should be sleeping, but hopefully Daddy plays this for you later. This one's for you, little guy. And a 1. And a 2. Happy birthday to you.
I ain't gonna let that statement slide, Scribe.
Happy birthday to you.
You know how important our viewers are.
Happy birthday,
Dear
dear
Tristan.
Tristan.
Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Tristan.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Tristan. I hope you had a wonderful one, little guy.
Thank you, Princess Unicorn Nipples. You missed a super chat. I didn't. I had it held while I was waiting for Satsu to finish. But thank you. And thank you, Johnny Hellcat, Ike the Like. Yes. Did you have anything else, Satsu?
No, that was pretty much it.
Okay, Monkey, what do you got?
Oh, God, who knows?
Well, I would assume you, because if you don't, then we can move on.
Well, I mean, there was the whole Jeff Holiday thing, but that all started over something really fucking stupid.
On the internet?
Yeah, I know, right? This chick who's started. She's like the female Sophane and Jeff at this point. Oh, it's true. She's just running around everywhere trying to prove how woke she is in this new era of stuff. But somebody had posted the story of the petition to make Captain Marvel a gay woman of color.
Oh, yes, Monica Rambeau. Yes.
And this person wrote, "Why are right-wingers the only people who ever fall for anti-SJW parodies every single time?" And I just responded, "Only the right," and linked the video to the free bleeding video.
Oh, yeah.
And I just left that. And somehow that caused some panties to get into a wad. These things happen. What else? Oh, this one came from the New York Times today. The finger and thumb circles shown by Estonia lawmakers at their swearing-in ceremony was interpreted as showing allegiance to the doctrine of white power.
Uh-huh.
It was interpreted that way by the New York Times.
Do you mean interpreted, Monkey?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm not Irate Bear. I don't care if I say shit wrong.
Substantive.
Let's see. Oliver Darcy. Oliver Darcy was tweeting out today about the bans on Facebook yesterday. He was responding to Donald Trump Jr. And Donald Trump Jr. The purposeful and calculated silencing of conservatives by Facebook and the rest of big tech monopolies big tech monopoly men, should terrify everyone. To which Oliver Darcy responded, interesting to see Don Jr. identify the radical Facebook band as conservative. That's the radicals band or Facebook band. He didn't write that very well. Here, let me fix that for you, CNN. Interesting to see Don Jr. identify the people banned by Facebook as conservatives and suggest that's why they were removed. Reality is that Facebook took action against extremists. Farrakhan was also removed. I don't think Don Jr. would call him conservative. No, Oliver, but the Washington Post would. And we know this because they did. We do know most of the people that were banned were conservative, like 99% of them. And don't give me that shit that they've always banned people, because these same people were here a week ago. Farrakhan, he hasn't done anything in the last week that makes him any different than he's been for the last 30 fucking years. So don't try to bullshit anyone. And then I think my favorite one of the day. Okay, so there's an abortion debate going on because of that idiot. Where's that guy from? The one who said that either kill him now or kill him later.
Oh, I don't know.
Did you guys hear that quote?
No, I didn't hear that.
Is that the abortion thing?
Yeah. He's a lawmaker somewhere, and I forget what state it's in. Somebody help me out in the chat. I want to say Alabama. I could be wrong. But this lawmaker from that state, he said, we don't take care of them after they're born. You're gonna put them in the electric chair. He actually used that. Yeah, it was Alabama. Thanks, guys. Put them in the electric chair. He goes, so kill them now or kill them later.
Oh boy.
Like, oof. Well, there's been quite a few big arguments going on, in our very own Chatmort. She's been involved in a few of these, and I've been following this one. And this one idiot, I'm not going to give you any more context than this, but this is what he said. He goes, okay, let's play by your logic. A fetus is a human. A fetus is the subject to our laws. A fetus kills its mother in birth because she couldn't abort. The fetus is guilty of murder. The fetus is given the death penalty. Congrats, you've now killed a child. They're not being... While this is a facetious argument, they were trying to make a serious argument there. To try to... the argument being that the laws should protect fetuses, and his answer is, well, then if the law is going to apply, the mom dies, that baby killed it, should be murdered for that. Like, what the fuck are you actually trying to say here?
Wow, that's actually an impressive level of what the fuck.
It is. That is. I had to actually read it like 3 times to figure out the logic he was trying to imply. I'm like, oh. And then this idiot goes on to challenge somebody and actually ask, where in the Constitution does it say you're guaranteed life? The dude went, how about the 5th Amendment, where it's actually you will not be deprived, or you cannot be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. To which this guy finally shut the fuck up. But it was fun reading it. But I read this part. Yes, the fetus murders the mother. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
They've been watching Alien too much.
It's not Pursuit of Happiness. That is different document. It's life, liberty, and property in the 5th Amendment. Yeah, you're thinking of the I want to say Emancipation Proclamation, but I know that's wrong. The Declaration of Independence. Let's see. I think that's pretty much all I had today. Like I said, I was goofing around on the internet, and I was just getting annoyed by it, and so I went and played video games. So.
Okay. Well, I've got 2 options for you. I've either got a Chris Saliza analysis, or we can do a Mad Lib.
Either one's fine with me.
Let's do Chris Saliza. He's always fun.
All right. And this is short enough, we might be able to do both. A radical proposal to get Donald Trump reelected in 2020.
Oh.
This is from Chris Saliza, just so you know. The news on Friday confirmed, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this fact. The U.S. economy is booming. Yeah, I forgot to bring this one up. I saw this earlier today. It was actually kind of crazy. The economy added 263,000 jobs in the month of April, and the unemployment rate is now just 3.6%, the lowest it has been since 1969. On top of the better than expected GDP news last month, it's now quite clear that President Donald Trump is overseeing an economy going gangbusters. And yet, for all the successes of the economy and the fact that a majority of Americans give him credit for his handling of the nation's finances, Trump's job approval ratings remain mired in the low 40s, a dangerous place to be for a sitting president ramping up a re-election bid. Which brings me to a radical idea I have been kicking around for a while now. Trump's best chance at winning would be to cease issuing statements or tweets about anything other than the economy and to cut all statements and tweets down to roughly one a day. No Mueller report, no name calling of potential Democratic candidates, no nothing other than tweeting or speaking about the current state of the economy and doing that once a day. Yes, such a strategy might prompt accusations that Trump is hiding from the media. You think? Like every time you guys go, Trump is being suspiciously silent in the last 24 hours or something. Or that he is walking away from things such as building the border wall that his base quite clearly values. But such an extreme approach to his public pronouncements would also give Trump the best chance top bridge. Do you mean to bridge, Chris? The best chance top bridge. Are you guys there?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to.
Okay.
I get in trouble for that.
I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway. Top bridge the current chasm between people who think he is doing a good job on the economy and people who approve of the job he is doing overall. To be clear, this will never happen. Trump is not capable of the sort of discipline it would require. And even if he were, other issues would likely crop up that, as president, he and his advisors would feel compelled to address. You're right, Chris. It is a radical idea. And yeah, you're right. It's not going to happen. I don't think it would be a shoo-in strategy for presidential victory, but it wouldn't hurt, I suppose.
Well, it's not hurting him now.
Yeah.
I did put, I took a picture of the Drudge Report today, and put it up on Twitter because let me bring it back up here. Where is it? The top headlines on Drudge Report there's a U.S. flag and it says envy of the world, unemployment 49-year low, wages hit 27.77 an hour. That's the average, guys. And stock market endless rally, Trump approval at 50%. So if you want to know why the Democrats are so keen to get him out of office before the election, there you go. As Bill Clinton famously stated, it's the economy, stupid.
Yep.
And he wasn't wrong when he said that. So, yeah, they're going to try really, really hard to bump him out first because they don't want to run against that in 2 years. What are you going to do? Argue that things are worse than under Obama? Because they're arguably not. They're objectively not.
Right.
And whether you give Obama credit for all of this turning around, the trend has continued. It's just continued. So, there was a little bit of chatter about 2 months ago. There were some slowdowns in the economy here and there, but we just had consumer spending, and that's not in that list. It came out, I want to say last week. That was at highs they hadn't expected. It had jumped, I want to say like 0.5%. And I know this is boring numbers things to you guys, but I do try to pay attention to the economy as well. So yeah, things are not looking good for the Democrats going into 2020 based on economy. So I don't think Trump not tweeting is going to change anything either way.
Yeah. All right. Well, sure, we can do it. I have a short Mad Lib.
All right.
You guys ready? All right. Satsu, I need an adjective.
Moist.
Monkey, I need a noun.
Gavel.
Gavel. Interesting. Okay. Satsu, I need an adjective.
All right, Monkey's picking different stuff. I feel like I got to pick something different now too.
God forbid you expand your vocabulary.
How about sweaty?
No, Jesus.
I never did that one before.
Yeah, I'm sure you never have. Monkey, I need an animal, strangely enough.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. All right. Satsu, I need a verb ending in ing.
A verb ending in ing. Fucking not a bowling, I guess.
Bowling? Okay. I was going to say masturbating, but whatever works for you. Monkey, I need a noun plural.
Forklifts.
Forklifts.
All right. Forklifts. Satsu, I need an occupation.
Damn it, something different. A pianist.
Okay. Monkey, I need a noun plural again.
Doilies.
Wow. Okay. Satsu, I need a noun plural.
Douches.
Monkey, I need a noun. A straight noun.
Cup.
And Satsu, I need a noun.
Egg roll.
Wow, this is going to be interesting. All right, here we go. Robert Jordan is probably most known for his moist series, The Wheel of Time, consisting of the books The Gavel of the World, The Sweaty Hunt, The Chihuahua Reborn, The Shadow Bowling, The Forklifts of Heaven, Pianist of Chaos, A Crown of Doilies, The Path of Douches, Cup's Heart, and Crossroads of Egg Roll.
Those all sound like legitimate books.
That was what I was thinking. Like none of the. I mean,
You know what? The Forklifts of Heaven. I kind of like that one.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
The Pianist of Chaos. That just brings up all types of images in my head.
Right.
Let's see.
I
So
don't think
there's.
we could have made those disgusting and made them the way those book titles work. I think anything would work in those.
Yeah, the gavel of. It's almost like just a book title generator.
Right.
Yeah.
The Gavel of the World, The Sweaty Hunt. I don't know. The Chihuahua Reborn sounds a bit ridiculous, but I like Pianist of Chaos. That almost sounds like a story prompt I'll have to work on.
It is the Mexican retelling of Christianity.
Chihuahua Reborn.
Let's see. You want to do one more?
Sure, we got time.
It's hard for me to tell now if I've done some of these before. Okay, I don't know. I have no idea what this one is. So, all right, we'll try to go through this one quick. I'll participate to make it go a bit quicker. Let's see. So I'll start. We need a name. I'm going to say Mortimer. No, wait. I need a name of somebody out of the chat. Just for the heck of it. Chaos Eve. Okay. Monkey, I need an occupation.
YouTuber.
Satsu, I need a verb ending in ed.
Slade.
All right. Let's see. I need to put in a plural noun. Astronauts. Let's see. Monkey, I need an adjective.
Floppy.
There you go. Satsu, I need a place.
A place, huh? Hell.
All right. And thank you, Jedi Ghost Bear. Quick, somebody call SDA. Oh boy. Name for group of people.
Fuckers.
Bastards.
Wait a sec. Hold on. I know there's a word for this. It's let's see. No, what? Oh, okay. A nunnery. There we go.
Nunnery.
A nunnery. I know that's kind of a place, but you know what I mean. Monkey, a noun.
Cunt.
All right. Satsu, an adverb.
Why is my brain blanking on adverb again?
Ends in ly, so like quickly.
Oh, yeah. I had it right then. For some reason
Okay.
my brain just stopped. Can I say indubitably?
I don't think that's quite the right.
I wish it was. We'll do slowly then, since you said quickly.
Let's see. I need to do a verb. Stab. Monkey, a verb ending in ed.
Verb. Interrupting.
How about interrupted?
Interrupted.
I thought you said ing. I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta stop reading while you're doing that. I'm sorry. I just saw a friend of mine name their child Bane.
Bane?
No.
So yeah, interrupted would be my word.
Okay. Satsu, I need a body part.
Oh boy. Weenus.
Penis, fine.
No, witness.
I need to do a verb. Let's see, a verb. Kicked.
Or better not have changed my words.
All right, fine. Let's see now. Monkey, I need a place.
Stall in a McDonald's bathroom.
Wow.
All right.
That is very specific. And lastly, Satsu, I need a verb.
How about wrecked?
Okay. This is called Candlelight Rumble.
Okay.
No idea. It comes in the form of a quote, at least to start off with. Hi, my name is Chaos Eve. I will be your candle lighting YouTuber. Please, people, don't make fun of my name. Before we get slayed, do we have any astronauts? Okay, I guess not, but that's perfectly floppy. Follow me as I lead you to the hell. I told my nunnery. I picked up my cunt and lit a candle when we got to the hell.
Wow.
Everyone stared in slowly. Then I started to stab. I fell down. Everyone interrupted. I didn't get up. Someone blew out the candle. Then they lit it with their weenus. We don't need him, someone yelled. Then my followers left me in the dark. The ground started to kick just then. Uh-oh, there's a candlelight rumble going on in the stall in the McDonald's bathroom. And I'm not there to wreck it.
What the fuck? Even in context, I don't even know what this is.
I have no idea what that was supposed to be saying. That's very odd. But with that being said, we're on to chat time. So chat, everyone, if you have questions, comments, concerns, complaints, conspiracy theories, or if you know of some really, really lousy baby names that you've come across in your life.
Fucking Bane?
Please put them in the chat now. If you have questions for us directly, please put plenty of chat marks after those. If you have statements you'd like us to consider, please put plenty of statement marks after those. Are you guys game streaming tonight?
Yes.
We is.
All right. What are you going to play?
7 Days to Die.
Or are you going to give anything away?
Video games.
Thank you for that very explicit and detailed answer.
You're welcome.
Let's see. Ebony Williams says, so this is what Chaos does in her spare time. No, Chaos plays Devil May Cry 5 or Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, depending. That's all I know. Or hangs out with SDA and Weibo.
Apparently, she lights candles while holding her cunt and dragging people to hell.
Yeah. RJ Bansma asks, Goat Thrapple? Sure. Ebony Williams, Lords of the Night, would any of you slightly alter your avatars? No, I like my avatar fine.
I don't think I could at this point. I mean, maybe might be my like 2 cents one or my 2 cents plus one, but the Satsu one is special because a good friend of mine drew that, and I feel weird replacing it after all this time.
Mine is just too perfect. I don't have any reason. I've got a couple of variants that I've been sent, but and I might use those on special occasions. But as it is, no. How about you, Monkey?
No. I've changed this one slightly during my videos, depending on what I'm like. Sometimes I have the big toothy guy up there, but
right.
Overall, no.
Random American, why doesn't chat get to make suggestions for the Mad Libs? The delay.
Yeah, the delay makes that a pain.
Yeah, I mean, I could attempt it at some point, like send out the list ahead of time or something. I don't know, but maybe tweet out the list and then see what people respond to it. But I usually don't plan that far ahead. Let's see. Fernanda says Alberthor. Is that a name of a child? Alberthor?
Alberthor.
Check your logic. Could the kid be able to say the name Bane is the bane of his existence? Ha 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 ha.
Bane?
Corey Suzuki says, put a chef hat on for fam 2 cents.
Oh, you mean like use my avatar? I kind of don't want my Satsu 2 cents avatar to be associated with my other channels, which is why I created a new thing for them.
Zeke Kyle says, how do you guys feel about Nick Fuentes and of you watch America First? I don't know who Nick Fuentes is, and I don't know.
Is a racist dickhead who's often out there supporting his alt-right views.
Oh.
He's a big-headed moron. That's what I think of Nick Fuentes. And no, I've never watched the whatever that was. America First. What was it?
America First or whatever.
I don't think I haven't heard of either one of those things. RJ Bansma, thoughts on Razer's gaming keyboards? I think I have one around here somewhere that somebody just like gave to me as an extra at one point, but I haven't had to replace my current keyboard. So I couldn't tell you from personal experience. Do you guys have Razer keyboards?
No. I think they're interesting looking. I wouldn't spend the money on one.
Yeah.
I got a Corsair keyboard and a Logitech mouse.
Yeah, I had a friend who worked at Microsoft, and I forget exactly what it was, but occasionally they'd get like free swag and stuff like that. And he ended up like with an extra super mouse and some keyboard stuff. And I'd given him a gift at one point for something, and he just says, "Hey, you want this?" I'm like, "Sure." Okay.
I need to address something in chat. Scribe says, LOL, he's a racist, but I've never watched him to fuck. Go back and listen to what I said. I never said I didn't watch him. I said I've never watched, talking about the show, which I then clarified.
Yeah. Let's see. We talked about that. Suicide Grunts of America. Monkey, how about a name for a baby like Mike Hunt?
Don't name your kids fucked up shit. I get the joke. Yeah, but don't name your kids fucked up shit. I know a fucking girl who named her kid Zeke. I'm like, don't do that. She's like, what? It's a cute name. I'm like, no, it's not. He's going to grow up to beat women.
Let's see. Sarah Plyer, what would you recommend for an uncommon boy's first name? Recommend? Oh boy. I'm trying to
An
think.
uncommon name?
Yeah, an uncommon
John.
name. What?
I said these days, John.
Yeah. what was that guy's name?
LaCroix.
Yeah, there you go. Sebastian. You don't hear that very often. No.
Doorknob.
There was a guy I knew in college, and his first name was Landon. Landon. Now, I think with his last name, and I forget what his last name. All I remember is that when he said his name all together, it sounded really nice. It sounded very like a good name. So I guess it depends on the last name. But if your last name is cool and it fits along with Landon, or was like an L, Landon. I always thought that was kind of a unique name. I don't know if it's any good. I just remember it as being unique. So there you go.
Cartman in chat just said he met a lady at the grocery store who named her son Brony.
Oh fuck.
Brony.
Okay, women should not be allowed to name children anymore. That's it. You've lost that right.
Let's see. Scribe Light. Should we call our politicians to stop the censoring of right wingers? It's not the politicians doing it, at least not in the most high profile instances.
Yeah, if it was the politicians, then that would be where the actual issue lies.
Yeah.
But a lot of people their defense against the censorship online and stuff is, well, the government's not doing it, and
yeah, with Facebook and Twitter and everything else, it's the principle over the legality that is the biggest issue. But also the fact that, whether you like it or not, things like Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and all these things, they've become functionally, not literally, they become functionally public utilities practically. And so for companies to, seemingly just arbitrarily decide who can and cannot be allowed to speak, like I say, it's a question of a societal principle over a legal argument of violation. So.
Well, they are backed by a hypocritical movement that kind of started the outrage culture, like this group of people saying, this subset of people are being silenced online, and that's unacceptable, or our voices need to be heard, and marginal voices are being fleshed out. And now those exact same people are saying, yeah, we want these companies and institutions to be able to tell us what we can and can't say, as long as it's not specifically us.
Matt Christensen put out a really good video today about the whole situation with Alex Jones and those guys. So I'd recommend that to get a really good take on it. Let's see. What else do we have? Scribe Light. Is my girl name Rainy Jennifer unique enough? Yeah. I don't hear Rainy that often. Is that I assume that's what RJ stands for, or at least what you're telling us. What is that? My chat jumped. Ebony Williams says, thoughts on Mounds or Almond Joy? I like Mounds better than Almond Joy if I had to choose between the two.
A different candy bar?
Well, Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. That's basically the difference. So
Also one's dark chocolate, one's milk.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I have to go with Mounds just because they're the ones who use the milk chocolate.
Yeah, I don't like dark chocolate.
I swear when I was younger, they used to sell them both in milk chocolate, and I like it without the almond.
Yeah, I thought they did, or still do, but maybe.
No, now it's milk and dark chocolate that defines it as well. So the milk chocolate one.
Corey Suzuki says, how about January? Well, naming your kid after a month, most months, not all months, is fine. I mean, I don't think I've met anybody named November yet. I'm sure there might be somebody out there with it. Or naming that for the seasons, like autumn or summer, name your kid after that. Some things work. January can work, I suppose. It's kind of a odd one. Gorebag goes camping. I forgot to put the damn question marks. Notice me anyways. Notice what? If he didn't put the question marks, I'm not quite sure what's supposed to be a question. Faithless says Almond Joy is milk chocolate. Okay. Let's see. Sadistic Atheist. The legal team stopped Twitter from removing Trump, but want all the rest of the right removed. They legal. They legal? I mean, the law? I don't think the law stopped Twitter removing Trump. I think if I remember correctly, at least how Jack Dorsey described it, he said, there are with public figures, especially like representatives, there's a public interest in what they have to say, even if it has to be something that we would otherwise not be fond of. They keep it on for that sake. And the president is kind of the most, public interest character out there. So, but yeah. Truck and Bear, dark milk or white chocolate? I mean, depends on how dark, but I prefer dark chocolate. I have the option.
Milk chocolate, please.
Milky chocolate.
Yeah, not so dark that it's like bitter as fuck though. I forget the percentage. There was a chocolate bar that they say like the percentage of chocolate on it to tell you how dark it is. Mm-hmm. And I found one that was like just the perfect balance of chocolate flavor without being bitter for dark chocolate. I forget the percentage. If I saw the wrapper again, I'd recognize it, but I don't. Let's see. RJ says, what would you name a certain model of car? Oh, if I just had to come up with a car model name? The Mazda Plunger. I don't know. Well, what would your dream car be named, or car model be named, Satsu and Monkey?
The clit. I want to drive the clit.
There you go. And Satsu.
Shit, I have no idea.
Shit, there you go. All right. The shit. Just like the guy from Tales from the Hood. Oh yes, you get the shit.
The shit.
He said that way too much. That was a one-off line at the end of the first Tales from the Hood.
Yeah, he said it like so many times.
They turned it into his catchphrase in that one. I mean, as bad as all the other stuff in the movie was, that was the one thing that kind of irritated me. It was like, oh yes, the shit. I'm like, oh no, dude, it was great when it was a one-off.
I knew that was going to annoy you too. That's why.
Oh, I did, because Clarence Williams III, the smile on his face when he says that in the first movie is so great. Motto Winter says, was it 72% Scribe? I think it was something like that. It was in the low 70s, I believe. I'd have to find it though. Like I said, I have to find that wrapper for that specific. I don't even remember the name of the brand of chocolate bar. It was just a very unique wrapper. I think it was like purplish blue or something. Anyway, let's see. Gorbag says, my daughter's middle name is Tuesday. Yeah, I've heard Tuesday used. Yeah, like Wednesday Adams, that kind of thing. Sure. I mean, there are names that are odd but not, bad, like Bane. Let's see. Kesvir of Old. Why is Ted Bundy trending on Twitter? Because I believe the Zac Efron movie in which he plays Ted Bundy was released today. I think it's either like a Netflix or a Hulu exclusive or something, or a series. I don't know.
He's he also made big headlines today because he came out and said that Ted only got away with it because of white privilege.
Oh, Zac Efron said that?
Yes.
Yeah, Ted Bundy, who got away with it because he was arrested, then escaped, and arrested again, then sent to the electric chair. Right, he got away with it. He wasn't being hunted. He wasn't one of the most wanted people in America or nothing. He got away with it. People weren't looking for him. Yeah. The entire country was just completely indifferent to that fucking monster. You're right, Zac Efron. Good job. Yep. Good job.
It was white privilege. That's what allowed it to happen.
Yeah, just spit on all the people that spent all those years hunting him, sacrificing their marriages and their sanity trying to track that guy down. Good job, Zac Efron. Yeah, white privilege. That's what got him. Yeah. I've read too many serial killer books. It's a morbid fascination of mine, but I'll tell you what, when you read the stories of some of these police officers and investigators and public officials and everything who have to carve out parts of their lifetimes trying to find and or stop these monsters, they're not getting away with it because they're just like, oh, special or something. It's because even today, it's very difficult to find somebody who just randomly attacks people. And that if that's what Zac Efron said, he can go fuck himself. Seriously. Sorry, I just I'm a little passionate about that whole thing. What can I tell you?
Sure.
Let's see. Peter says he was executed. That's not getting away with it. Yep, amongst so many other things. Let's see. Sadistic atheist Scribe. He's not going to profit from the movie, is he? Well, Ted Bundy's dead, so he can't profit from it. Zac Efron will probably profit from it. I don't believe Ted Bundy's estate, if there is one, gets anything. At this point, I think all that's left of Ted Bundy's lineage is a daughter that has basically changed her name and her identity to stay away from such things, and an ex-wife. I think she's still alive. She might still be alive. Steven Sperling says John Wayne Gacy had clown privilege. Yeah. Let's see. Mr. Monopoly says, Scribe, do you have a old Playboy magazine? I've got a couple. And only because I think I rescued them from my dad's collection before he threw them out. Because, you find your dad's girly magazines, you gotta take a couple,
I have a few. They were all my own. And it's just because I've been too lazy to throw them out.
Actually, he might still have them in storage somewhere. That might be part of my inheritance when the time comes. bunch of Playboy from the 70s or something. Anyway, let's see. Chat jumped again. Pirates Creed. I'm not familiar with the Ted Bundy case. Can you give me a quick rundown, Scribe? Oh God, I can't. My best suggestion for a sort of quick rundown: either read the book "The Stranger Beside Me" by Anne Rule, or if you're more of a visual documentary type person, the Ted Bundy tapes documentary just came out on Netflix a couple months ago. And I watched that, and it's about as complete a timeline as you can get about Bundy without reading like Anne Rule's book for the finer details. So that's the best I can give you. Anyway, Ted Bundy was sort of he was the guy that sort of showed people that a psychopath can be anybody. He put the lie to the sort of notion that serial killers are drooling monsters in a gutter somewhere. They can look like the guy next door or someone who's got, who appears very personable and social and such.
Not just that he could be anybody. They could be absolutely charming.
Yes, charming and everything else. Now, that's not to say that Ted Bundy was the first charming socialite serial killer. It's just that Ted Bundy came around when our mass media was really starting to ramp up in the mid to late 80s and such, and he got a lot more face time. There have been gentlemen and or angelic serial killers throughout American history and elsewise. If you're curious about those kind of people, I'd look up the books by Harold Schechter about people like H.H. Holmes and Jane Toppin and those type of people. Let's see. RJ Bandsma, how stupid is Zac Efron? On that point, moronic. I don't know anything else about Zac Efron, but if that's what he said about trying to explain how Bundy, quote unquote, got away with it, yeah, anyway.
Like anybody else, I mean, actors can be really fucking stupid, and Zach's really fucking stupid.
Yeah, lots of serial killers are. I mean, John Wayne Gacy. Oh God, the guy in the South. I just forgot his name. It was Wayne Williams. A lot of these guys, they pass through society because they seem so normal. I mean, it goes back to the old cliche. He seems like such a normal person. It's because they do. On the outside, sociopaths and psychopaths, they emulate the people around them. They know how to manipulate people. Chris Watts, Chris Watts went his entire life as a narcissist, a psychopath. And until it just came to the point where he's like, I'm done with my wife and children. I want to move on to my new hot girlfriend. And he just slaughters them. And nobody would have expected it. Had no history of it whatsoever till that point. Yeah, these guys are chameleons, and they can be, and it's scary and it's weird. Now, Bundy in particular, he was also a physical chameleon. If you look at his mugshots over time, he completely had an ability to change his appearance to the point where you probably couldn't recognize him between a couple of months. He could gain weight or lose weight, grow out his hair, and he would seem like a completely separate individual. Anyway, I could go on. Mr. Monopoly says, Scribe, what is your favorite pre-Iron Man Robert Downey Jr. movie? Gosh. And the first one that comes to mind is Less Than Zero. But things like that, like 16 Candles. Was he 16 Candles? Or was that? No, wait.
No, he was in The Pickup Artist.
No, Pickup Art. Yeah, that was it. Because I was thinking Molly Ringwald. You're right. Yeah. He was in The Pickup Artist.
Weird Science.
Yeah, he was in Weird Science, but I'm thinking of oh shit, what was that called? It was him and Marissa Tomei.
Him and Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, it was because she went to a psychic and Damon Bradley. I remember this. The Robert Downey. Okay, wait. Marissa Tomei. It was Only You. That's what it was. Only You with Marissa Tomei. I remember that because she went to a psychic trying to find the love of her life. The psychic lady, she just makes up a name, Damon Bradley, and then she runs into a guy named Damon Bradley, and then it becomes this sort of thing.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, she puts her hand over like the crystal ball. She goes, Damon Bradley. And yeah, anyway. But yeah, The Pickup Artist was always good too. Let's see, P-Dog Nice. Scribe, have you been to New Orleans? There's a museum of death all about serial killers. Went there last year fasting. I have been to New Orleans. I've been there twice. I did not go to the Museum of Death. I went to a couple of like voodoo museums and wander around the French Quarter with some friends. But it was kind of a whirlwind visit, so I didn't get to go to anything specific. We did go on a couple of those haunted tours where they walk you around the French Quarter and tell you about all the crimes and murders and things that happened in the past. Mm-hmm. That was kind of cool. At least the first one was. The second one we went to wasn't that great. Steven Spurgeon says Air America with Downey and Mel Gibson. Air America was good. I don't have really hard and fast memories of it as much as I do Less Than Zero. Because Less Than Zero, man, whoa. You watch that back to back with something like Requiem for a Dream, you'll probably become a drug addict just out of reflex. Motto Winter, Lords of the Night, which Looney Tune would you eat?
Wrong to say Lola.
Yeah, I was about to say the girl bunny. I forget. Yes, that's the best answer, I think.
Like groceries, Monkey?
That's right, just like groceries.
Let's see. Check your logic. How long did they spend talking about Ted Bundy? Who's they? Oh, are you talking about the museum? I don't know. Thank you, Point Curation. Any tips on dealing with restlessness or agitation? For restlessness, find some kind of outlet for some kind of cathartic outlet. That's the only thing I can say. Writing, trying to thinking out loud, making YouTube videos and complaining about the world, taking a walk, doing something relaxing.
Long story short, escapism. Because that's what I do. Music, video games, and anime, and squishy. Those are like my only escapes from, that type of shit.
Claxton Byar, Scribelight, have you seen the YouTube channel called Horror Stories? Sounds like it might be up your alley. When I want to like creep myself out or find something to disturb me, because sometimes I'm in that mood, I just look up scary 911 calls on YouTube. There's nothing more disturbing than just the disembodied voices of people in peril, and sometimes the outcomes of such things. It's a morbid kind of entertainment to a certain extent if I want to scare myself. But yeah, nothing quite scares me as much as true stories. Like I say, after reading so many serial killer books about real things that happened, watching a movie about a serial killer that's fake or a fiction book about it doesn't really, make the grade anymore as far as like catching my interest. So Let's see. Data Wasteland. Scribe. Downey was the bad guy in the one movie where they chased the criminals down, U.S. Marshals. Oh, that's right. Oh, God. The sequel to The Fugitive. I forgot about that movie. I wonder why. Yep. That was before Iron Man. Yep. Let's see. Sarah Plyer says Squishy should have been at the top of that list. What? Oh, eating. Haha. What Looney Tune character would you eat? I'm assuming. Except she's not a Looney Tune character, unless Satsu knows something we don't.
Satsu.
And Satsu's gone silent, so never mind. Let's see, Peter, do you guys like the Saw movies? I appreciate how they retrofitted the plot line for all the movies to interconnect. Because if you watch the second one, the first, the second, and the third one, and you see what they did in their writing to make it all fit together, it doesn't make a lot of rational sense, but I admire their creativity in creating a sort of mini expanded universe. The movies themselves, it's like the first one I thought was great just because it was a interesting premise and setup. Mm-hmm. The ones thereafter you have to take individually. Some are better than others. That's all I know.
The first one was good. After that, they just got kind of gory, and I gore is not scary and it's not suspenseful. It's just gore.
Sarah Ply says, no, Scribe, I was referring to Satsu 2 Senses list for escapism. Ah, okay. Yeah, if you want to see a movie that doesn't rely on the gore, but the suggestion of horror that makes it disturbing, John Carpenter's Village of the Damned. A movie that doesn't get talked about much. I think it's one of the last movies Christopher Reeve did before he had his accident, which is really odd to see him in a horror movie, although I know he's done them before. John Carpenter, strangely enough, for the most part, does not show you the gore. He leaves it to your imagination, which is oftentimes a much more effective method. Mr. Monopoly says, Scribelight, have you seen the movie Don Juan DeMarco starring Johnny Depp? Have I? I have an unopened copy that we were supposed to use at some point for a movie you should have watched. And the Bryan Adams song, To Really Love a Woman, is actually one of my favorite little songs from that era. I don't know that the movie is one of my favorite movies or anything, but I remember liking it okay. But yes, I have seen it. A long time ago. Gorebag Goes Camping. Scribelight, who do you think was the most horrific serial killer? Any serial killer is horrific in that sense. As far as that's concerned, I read. I wish I can't remember how to say this guy's name, but his name was like David de Bartle-Baden. It was something like that. He had a very strange last name. He's not a very well-known serial killer in the sense that ever since he went to jail, he's never talked, and he just kind of confessed to everything that he was known to have done. So the extent of his crimes aren't really known. But what he is known to have done is super villain levels of criminality. I think one of the investigators looking at him said he has broken every law there is multiple times. I mean, he had I couldn't begin to explain it. If you want to, if I can remember how to spell his name, I'll put it into Twitter or something. But it was like either David or John or something. De Bartle-Baden. I'm saying that correctly. But anyway, that's not. I mean, there are more horrific serial killers like Dahmer. Holy, the stories about what he did, and even Bundy. I mean, Bundy, the Green River Killer. These guys. It's difficult to describe them as actually being human beings, given what they did. But that's a story for another time, I suppose. And with that, guys, we're coming up to the top of the hour and the end of the show, so we'll end it there. Thank you guys for all the questions. Thank you guys for all the stories. Thank you for joining us tonight and each night, as you always do. Appreciate it. Remember, over on 2 Cents Plus, shortly after this, Monkey and Satsu will be playing 7 Days to Die. and giving away some unknown game potentially.
It will be Lego related.
Yes, Lego related. They have some Lego games to give away. Remember, guys, per usual, tomorrow night we'll be on Monkey's channel at the usual time. I will hopefully be there on time. I think so, pretty sure. But there may be a guest to make up for it. If I know that I'm going to be there with much more notice, I will let these guys know, but might still be a guest, so who knows. Thank you, Casimir of Old. Thanks, Scribe, for saying my name right. By the way, only 199 likes. Only 199 likes. We only got 100 likes. Did you mean only 99 likes? I mean, I'll take 100 likes. 199 likes would be great. I've got 199 likes, but a bitch ain't one. Anyway, with that, guys, Satsu, Monkey, thank you for joining me. Oh, did I? I did it again because I got distracted, pleasantly distracted by Casimir of Old. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though our audience is the best behaved ever. And everyone who donated. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your generosity. I really do appreciate it. At least part of it will be going towards buying flowers for my mother this weekend. So I appreciate it very much. And with that, guys, your lives make us sad. And we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Okay, I got my book, The Screw the Roses, Send Me the Thorns, The Romance and Sexual Sorcery of Sadomasochism, turning to Ye Random Page. And, all right, I guess that's fitting enough. Today's secret word is embarrass. I guess there's something erotic about embarrassment. I can see